The strange lights appeared in Earth's sky on a Tuesday. They moved in ways no human aircraft could, stopping instantly and changing direction without slowing down. All around the world, people pointed their phones upward, recording the unusual sight. At the United Space Agency headquarters, John Miller watched the screens with a calm that came from years of spaceflight. As head of the USA, he had seen many odd things, but nothing like this. Next to him, Lisa Clark checked the latest radar readings. "Sir, they're slowing down. Looks like they're heading toward our space station," Lisa said. John nodded. "Send a message. Let them know we come in peace." 3 days later, the alien ship called Eternal Light hovered above the USA's main landing pad in Nevada. It was smooth and silver, shaped like a teardrop, and much larger than any human spacecraft. A small crowd of scientists, military personnel, and government officials waited nervously. Captain Zixtar stepped out first. He stood 7 feet tall with blue-tinted skin that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. His 4 eyes blinked at different times as he took in the humans before him. Behind him came Mirren, smaller but with the same blue skin and an extra set of arms that held various devices. "We bring greetings from the Galactic Cooperative," Zixtar said, his voice deep but clear in perfect English. "We have observed your world for some time and believe you are ready for first contact." John stepped forward, extending his hand as he had been instructed. "Welcome to Earth. I'm John Miller, and this is my second in command, Lisa Clark." The alien looked at John's hand for a moment before copying the gesture. His skin felt cool and slightly rough, like fine sandpaper. "Your broadcast signals have reached our monitoring stations," Zixtar explained. "We find your species fascinating. You feel emotions so strongly, yet you adapt to new situations quickly." Over the next week, the aliens met with leaders from around the world. They showed amazing technology, devices that could clean polluted water in seconds, materials stronger than anything on Earth, but light as feathers, and medical scanners that could find any illness instantly. People everywhere were excited. News channels talked about nothing else. Children drew pictures of the blue aliens, and adults dreamed of visiting other planets. In their private room at the USA base, Zixtar and Mirren spoke quietly. The humans seemed eager to join the cooperative, Mirren said, checking data on a thin, transparent screen. Zixtar's upper eyes narrowed. "The Council wants us to investigate further before offering membership. They worry about humans' history of conflict." "What should we look for specifically?" "Everything. Their wars, their leaders, how they treat each other when resources are limited. The Council remembers what happened with the Vorax species." Mirren nodded slowly. The Vorax had seemed peaceful too, until they gained access to cooperative technology. They had used it to attack 3 planets before they were stopped. "I will request permission to study their history and psychology," Mirren said. "Perhaps Dr. Wright, the human anthropologist, can assist us." "Good. I sense great potential in these humans, but also something unpredictable. They smile even when discussing serious matters. They use humor in situations that require focus. Do you think they're hiding something?" Zixtar looked out the window at the humans walking below. "All species have secrets, Mirren. The question is whether their secrets threaten the galaxy." That night, as most humans slept, Mirren began scanning Earth's digital networks. The cooperative had strict rules about respecting privacy, but they also had rules about ensuring safety. If humans were dangerous, the cooperative needed to know. As data flowed into his devices, Mirren's 4 eyes widened. "Captain," he called softly, "I think you should see this." What Mirren had found would change everything about their mission to Earth. Mirren's discovery kept Captain Zixtar awake all night. The data showed humans had fought 3 world wars, not 2 as their public records claimed. The third had been hidden somehow, involving weapons that could change weather patterns. "We need more information," Zixtar decided as morning light filled their room. We must request formal permission to study their history. John Miller agreed to the aliens' request the next day. He assigned Dr. Samantha Wright to help them. She was the best anthropologist in the country and had studied many human cultures. "It's an honor to assist you," Samantha said when she met the aliens. Her red hair was pulled back, and she wore simple clothes with many pockets. "What aspects of human history interest you most?" "We wish to understand how humans solve conflicts," Mirren explained, "and how your society has evolved so quickly from primitive tools to space travel." The USA provided a research lab in New Mexico for the aliens. It had computers, books, and access to historical archives. William Carter, a man with short gray hair and serious eyes, was assigned as military liaison. "I'm here to help with any security clearances you might need," Carter explained, though his real job was to watch the aliens carefully. For 3 days, Samantha showed the aliens videos of human history. They watched as humans built cities, created art, and explored the world. But Mirren kept asking questions about wars, weapons, and times when humans hurt each other. "Why does this interest you so much?" Samantha asked. Mirren's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. "To understand any species, we must see how they act when resources are limited or when they feel threatened." On the 4th day, while Samantha stepped out for lunch, Zixtar nodded to Mirren. The smaller alien pulled out a device no bigger than a coin. He placed it on the main computer. Instantly, the screen filled with secret files that should have been impossible to access. "We don't have much time," Zixtar whispered. "Find the files on Project Prometheus." Mirren worked quickly. His 4 arms moved across different screens, breaking through security systems designed to keep the most dangerous human secrets hidden. "Found it," he said finally. "Downloading now." The files contained detailed records of experiments. Humans had tried to make soldiers who could fight without sleep, weapons that could target specific genetic traits, and mind control techniques using sound waves. There were plans for weapons that could destroy entire continents while making it look like natural disasters. "The cooperative was right to be cautious," Zixtar said. "These humans are more dangerous than we thought." Neither alien noticed the small red light blinking on the ceiling camera. In another room, Eric Powell stared at his screen with growing concern. As the USA's top network security expert, he had designed the systems the aliens were now breaking into. "Something's wrong," he told his supervisor, Diane Ross. "Someone's accessing the Prometheus files." Diane's face turned pale. "That's impossible. Those files are in our most secure server." "Well, someone's in there now, and they're downloading everything." Diane picked up a secure phone. "Get me General Morris. Now." Back in the lab, Mirren finished the download just as Samantha returned with coffee for everyone. "Find anything interesting?" she asked with a smile. "Your history is educational," Zixtar said carefully. "We are grateful for your assistance." That night, the aliens transmitted their findings to the Galactic Cooperative using a secure channel from their ship. The message was simple. Humans had the potential to be the most dangerous species they had ever encountered. The response came hours later. The Cooperative was sending an assessment team to determine if humans posed a galactic threat. Their ship would arrive in 3 days. What the aliens didn't know was that William Carter had been listening to every word they said, and he had plans of his own. General Frank Morris stood in the dimly lit room, looking at the large screen on the wall. It showed every file the aliens had accessed. His face remained calm, but his hands were tight fists at his sides. "How bad is it?" he asked. Diane Ross checked her tablet. "They got everything from Project Prometheus. Weapons designs, psychological warfare tactics, genetic experiments. All of it. And we're sure it was them." Eric Powell nodded. "The signal came from their lab. Their technology is advanced, but it still leaves traces in our systems." General Morris paced the room slowly. "What I don't understand is how they broke through our security so easily." "Because they've been watching us longer than they admitted," William Carter said as he entered the room. My team found evidence their scanning devices have been active in Earth's orbit for at least 15 years. The room grew quiet as everyone processed this news. The aliens had lied about when they discovered Earth. Meanwhile, aboard the Eternal Light Mirren sorted through the stolen files. Each new document made his blue skin turn a paler shade. "Captain, these humans have created weapons beyond anything we anticipated," he said. "They developed biological agents that target specific genetic markers. They have plans for autonomous weapons that can make their own targeting decisions." Captain Zixstar looked at the screen, his 4 eyes narrowing. "What troubles me most is how they hide these things. Their public faces show peace and cooperation, while secretly they prepare for war. The assessment team will arrive soon. What do we tell them? The truth. Humans cannot be trusted with cooperative technology. They should be contained on their planet until they evolve beyond violence." Back at USA headquarters, John Miller and Lisa Clark listened as their team explained what had happened. "So the aliens stole our classified files, and now they're probably planning to report back that we're dangerous," Lisa summarized. "What's our next move?" Dr. Samantha Wright spoke up. "I've spent time with them. They're scared of us, not angry. They believe they're protecting the galaxy." "From us," John said quietly. "Because of Project Prometheus." William Carter's face showed no emotion. "Sir, with respect, we need to prepare for the possibility that these aliens might decide humans are too dangerous to be allowed into space." "You think they'd attack us?" Lisa asked. "I think they might try to contain us. Remember what they said about their cooperative's advanced technology. They could disable our satellites, our power grids, our communications." John looked around the room. "I won't act based on fear. We need more information." He turned to Eric Powell. "Can you access their communications?" The programmer hesitated. "Maybe. Their technology is advanced, but they're using our planet's atmosphere to bounce signals. I might find a way to listen in." "Do it," John ordered. "And Dr. Wright, I want you to keep working with them. Act normal." "What about the files they stole?" General Morris asked. John's lips formed a slight smile. "Let me worry about that. For now, we continue diplomatic relations." That evening, Samantha returned to the alien lab with fresh coffee and cookies. "I brought some human refreshments," she said with a warm smile. Zixstar seemed distracted but thanked her. Mirren barely looked up from his screens. "Is everything okay?" she asked, pretending not to notice their changed behavior. "Yes," Zixstar said too quickly. "We are simply processing the information you've shared with us." As Samantha placed a cookie on Mirren's desk, she noticed the screen showing images of nuclear tests, biological research, and military training. Her hand trembled slightly, but her smile remained. "Let me know if you need anything else," she said casually, then left the room. Outside, she texted William Carter. "They're focused on our weapons. All the screens show military files." Carter's response was immediate. "Keep them talking. The assessment team enters Earth orbit tomorrow. We need to be ready." Neither humans nor aliens slept much that night. The alien assessment team arrived in a much larger ship than the Eternal Light. It hovered silently above Earth, just beyond the range of human satellites. Its dark metal hull absorbed sunlight rather than reflecting it, making it hard to see with normal telescopes. On Earth, people pointed at the sky and took pictures. News reports tried to explain what was happening, but most humans were scared. Some packed their cars and drove to remote areas. Others gathered in churches or bars, waiting together. Colonel Steve Johnson and his special response team prepared for the worst. They checked weapons designed to work against alien technology, though no one knew if they would actually work. "If those aliens decide we're dangerous, what chance do we have?" a young soldier asked. "We adapt faster than anyone expects," Colonel Johnson answered. "That's always been humanity's strength." Inside USA headquarters, Eric Powell finally managed to break into the alien communication system. He wiped sweat from his forehead as the alien language translated on his screen. "They're discussing containment protocols for Earth," he told John Miller and the others. "They think we're too violent to join their cooperative." "What kind of containment?" Lisa Clark asked. "They could place satellites around Earth that would destroy any ship trying to leave our atmosphere," William Carter explained. "They have the technology to keep us trapped here for centuries." John Miller rubbed his tired eyes, all because they found Project Prometheus, which they accessed illegally, General Morris reminded everyone. They violated their own diplomatic protocols. Dr. Wright stood up suddenly. "Let me talk to them. They respect me." "It's too dangerous," Lisa said. "They won't hurt me. They don't believe in direct violence. That's why they're so afraid of us." John thought for a moment, then nodded. "Go. But be careful." At the Alien Research Lab, Captain Zixtar was communicating with the assessment team when Samantha arrived. The aliens fell silent when she entered. "I know what you found," she said simply. "And I know you're afraid of us now." Mirren's forearms twitched nervously. "Your species has created weapons designed specifically for mass destruction. And your species has been watching us for 15 years without introducing yourselves," Samantha replied. "We know that now." Captain Zixtar's blue skin darkened with emotion. "We observe all developing species before making contact. It is our protocol." "So you have protocols that allow you to spy on us, but you judge us for having weapons to protect ourselves from unknown threats." Samantha's voice remained calm. "Like threats from space, perhaps." Before the aliens could answer, their screens flashed with urgent messages. The assessment team had detected unusual energy readings from several places on Earth. Humans were activating military systems around the world. "What is happening?" Zixtar demanded. "Our leaders want to talk," Samantha said. "Formally. With your assessment team present. Will you arrange it?" The captain hesitated, then agreed. "But this military activation must stop." "It will when your ship moves away from our satellites." 3 hours later, representatives from Earth's major nations gathered in a special United Nations session. Screens showed the alien assessment team, while Captain Zixtar and Mirren attended in person. The alien captain spoke first. "We have discovered concerning information about your species. Project Prometheus reveals humanity's capacity for destruction." Lisa Clark stood up. "Before you continue, we have questions about your research methods." "This is not about our methods," an assessment team member interrupted from the screen. "This is about the threat humans pose to galactic peace." William Carter stepped forward. His face showed no fear as he addressed the aliens. "You broke into our secure systems," he said. "You stole classified information. And now you stand in judgment of us." "We needed to understand your true nature," Mirren defended. Carter smiled slightly. "Then let me help you understand something about humans. We don't like being spied on." With those words, he pressed a button on his phone. Every screen in the room changed to show a single file labeled "The Deltarian Incident." Captain Zixtar's 4 eyes widened as he stared at the screen. The file name, "The Deltarian Incident," should not have been known to any human. It was a dark chapter in his people's history, something the Galactic Cooperative had hidden for over 200 years. "How did you get this?" the captain asked, his voice barely a whisper. William Carter walked slowly around the table. "Let's just say humans are good at gathering information too." The room was silent. The alien assessment team members on the screen looked at each other nervously. "What is the Deltarian Incident?" Lisa Clark asked. Carter smiled. "About 200 years ago, the Deltarians, Captain Zixtar's species, found another developing world called Mira 6. The Deltarians decided the Mirrans were too primitive to join the cooperative, so they placed containment satellites around Mira 6, just like they're planning to do to Earth." He touched his phone, and the screen showed images of a beautiful blue-green planet. The containment field had a flaw. It created a reaction with Mira-6 of atmosphere. Within 10 years, the planet's climate changed drastically. Billions died. The Deltarians tried to fix their mistake, but it was too late. Mirren stood up angrily. This information is classified by the cooperative. Humans should not have access to it. Yet you felt entitled to access our classified information, John Miller said calmly. Interesting double standard. Captain Six-Star looked defeated. How did you learn about this? Eric Powell spoke up for the first time. You've been watching us for 15 years, but we've been watching the stars much longer. Our deep space telescopes recorded the light changes when Mira-6 died. We've been studying those records, trying to understand what happened. He tapped on his tablet. When you arrived, we compared your ship's energy signature to the readings from Mira-6. It was a match. The aliens from the assessment team spoke urgently to each other in their own language. The humans waited patiently. Finally, Captain Six-Star spoke. We made a terrible mistake with the Mirrans. We have carried that guilt for centuries. And yet you were prepared to risk the same mistake with us, Samantha said softly. Because your weapons, your Project Prometheus. Mirren began. Lisa Clark interrupted. Project Prometheus isn't what you think it is. We've seen the files, Six-Star insisted. The biological weapons, the weather control devices, the autonomous killing machines. You saw what we wanted you to see, General Morris said with a slight smile. The general nodded to Eric Powell, who pressed some buttons on his tablet. The screens changed again, showing the original Project Prometheus files. But now there was new text at the top of each document. CQRAT scenario. Note HFY weapons. Most of what you saw doesn't exist, Powell explained. They're theoretical scenarios we use to test our security systems. We create fake worst-case files and see if anyone can access them. And you did exactly what we expected an intruder to do, Carter added. You found our fake secrets and believed them without question. Captain Six-Star looked confused. But your wars, your history of violence, are real, John Miller admitted. We don't deny our capacity for conflict, but we also don't build planet-killing weapons or plan for galactic domination. Samantha stepped forward. The real question is, why were you so quick to believe the worst about us? Could it be guilt over what happened to the Mirrans? The room grew quiet again. The assessment team members looked uncomfortable. Perhaps, Captain Six-Star finally said, we have judged humans unfairly. And perhaps, John Miller replied, this is an opportunity for both our peoples to learn something important. The captain's 4 eyes blinked slowly as he considered Miller's words. What do you suggest? He asked. John Miller's suggestion hung in the air. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of the screens showing the alien assessment team. I suggest, John finally continued, that we start over. With honesty this time. Captain Six-Star looked at the other aliens, then back at the humans. What would this involve? A fair exchange, Lisa Clark said. You want to know about our weapons and wars? Fine, we'll show you everything. The real files, not the security test scenarios. But in return, you share your history with us, including your mistakes. The aliens from the assessment team spoke quickly in their own language. Their voices sounded worried. Mirren turned to Captain Six-Star. The Council will not approve sharing our history. It is against protocol. The Council isn't here, Six-Star replied. We are. And we've already broken protocol by accessing their secure files. He faced the humans again. I agree to your terms. Over the next 3 days, humans and aliens shared their true histories. The humans showed records of their world wars, their nuclear weapons tests, and their environmental mistakes. They didn't hide the dark parts of their past. The aliens revealed how their cooperative formed after nearly destroying themselves in their own wars. They shared records of other planets they had contacted, including some where things went wrong. The Deltarian incident was not their only mistake. On the third day, Dr. Samantha Wright and Mirren sat together reviewing files. "There's something I don't understand," Samantha said. "You've been part of an advanced galactic civilization for thousands of years, yet you still make serious errors like what happened on Mira 6. Mirren's blue skin darkened slightly. The cooperative species try to present themselves as perfect to newer members. "We hide our mistakes and pretend we've moved beyond violence or error." "That seems dangerous," Samantha said. "How can you learn from mistakes you pretend never happened?" "You are right," Mirren admitted. "It is our greatest weakness." In another room, Eric Powell showed alien technical experts how humans had detected their surveillance. "We figured out your ship's energy signature years ago," Powell explained. "We just didn't know what it was until you arrived." One of the aliens, a thin orange being with 6 fingers on each hand, looked impressed. "Your species adapts quickly. Most planets under observation never detect our presence." "Humans are curious," Powell said with a smile. "We're always looking up at the stars, wondering who's out there." Meanwhile, Captain Zixtar and John Miller walked through a garden outside the building. "I owe you an apology," the captain said. "We came to judge you, but we were guilty of the same faults we accused you of." "Everyone has secrets," John replied. "The question is what we do when they're discovered. My people hide from our mistakes. We pretend to be perfect while containing other species we deem too dangerous. But hiding the truth only leads to repeating our errors." John nodded. "Humans make plenty of mistakes. We fight wars, pollute our planet, and hurt each other. But we also learn. Each generation tries to do better than the last." "You don't hide your darkness," Zixtar observed. "You acknowledge it." "It's the only way to move beyond it," John said. "Perfect beings don't need to grow. But flawed ones like us, we have somewhere to go. We have hope for a better future." The captain was quiet for a moment. "The assessment team will return to the cooperative tomorrow. They will report on everything we've learned." "And what will they say about humans?" John asked. Captain Zixtar's 4 eyes looked toward the sky. "That you may be the most important species we've ever encountered. Not because you're perfect, but because you're not afraid to face your imperfections." "What happens next?" John asked. "That," the captain said, "will depend on whether the cooperative is ready to learn from humans." The alien assessment team left Earth the next morning. Their large ship glowed briefly, then disappeared into the darkness of space. They would carry their report to the Galactic Cooperative, where the Council would decide humanity's fate. Captain Zixtar and Mirren remained behind with the Eternal Light asterisk. They continued working with the humans, but the mood had changed. There was a new openness between the two species. 1 week after the assessment team's departure, Lisa Clark found Captain Zixtar staring at the night sky outside the research facility. "Waiting for news?" she asked, joining him. "Yes, the Council should reach a decision soon. Are you worried?" The captain's blue skin seemed darker in the moonlight. "The Council does not like surprises. Humans surprised us greatly." "Is that bad?" "It's unprecedented. Most new species are either too primitive to notice our observation or too predictable to concern us. Humans are neither." Inside the facility, Samantha and Mirren worked late into the night. They were creating a shared database of both species' histories, focusing on how each had overcome challenges. "Your people survived 3 global conflicts," Mirren said, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "Most species destroy themselves after just one." "We came close," Samantha admitted. "But each time, we found ways to cooperate despite our differences." "That resilience is remarkable," Mirren said. "Many Council members believe violence indicates a species is unfit for galactic citizenship, but perhaps surviving violence teaches something valuable." In another room, Eric Powell and William Carter monitored communications from the alien ship. They had been granted limited access to the alien systems as part of the new transparency agreement. "Any word from their council?" Carter asked. Powell shook his head. "Nothing yet. but there's been a lot of message traffic between other cooperative members. I think our situation is causing quite a debate." "Good," Carter said with a slight smile. "The cooperative needs some shaking up." 3 days later, as dawn broke over the New Mexico desert, the Eternal Light received a message from the Cooperative Council. Captain Zixstar immediately requested a meeting with John Miller and the human team. They gathered in the main conference room. The captain's face was unreadable as he activated a small device that projected a holographic message into the center of the table. A being with crystalline features spoke in a language none of the humans understood. Captain Zixstar translated. "The Council has reviewed the assessment team's report on humanity," he said slowly. "They acknowledge that the initial evaluation was flawed due to preconceptions and protocol violations." The humans exchanged hopeful glances. "The Council has decided," the captain continued, "that humans will not be contained." Everyone relaxed slightly, but John Miller noticed the captain still seemed tense. "There's more, isn't there?" John asked. "Yes, the Council has also decided that humans will not be offered membership in the cooperative at this time." Lisa's face showed disappointment. "They still think we're too dangerous." "No," Captain Zixstar said, his voice strangely proud. "They think you're too important." The room grew quiet. "The Council believes humanity's unique approach to acknowledging its flaws, rather than hiding them, represents a potential evolution in cosmic civilization," the captain explained. "They want to study this approach before bringing humans into the cooperative structure." "Study us?" General Morris asked suspiciously. "Like lab animals?" "No," Mirren answered quickly. "Learn from you, as equals." Captain Zixstar touched the device again, showing images of a beautiful space station. "The Council proposes building a joint research facility in Earth's orbit. Humans and cooperative species working together, sharing knowledge as independent allies rather than as members." "Better than being contained," William Carter muttered. "Much better," the captain said. "No other species has been offered such an arrangement." John Miller looked around at his team, then back at the aliens. "So our darkest secrets ended up being our greatest strength." Captain Zixstar's 4 eyes seemed to smile. "Your willingness to face those secrets is your strength. My people have hidden from truth for too long. Perhaps it's time we learn to be more human." The captain extended his hand, just as John had done when they first met. "To new beginnings," he said. John took the alien's hand. "To honesty." 6 months passed quickly. The joint research station, named Horizon, took shape in Earth's orbit. Humans and aliens worked side by side, building something that had never existed before in the galaxy. On the day the station officially opened, shuttles carried representatives from Earth and the cooperative to the new facility. John Miller and Lisa Clark traveled with Captain Zixstar and Mirren. As their shuttle approached, Lisa stared out the window at the massive ring-shaped station. "It's beautiful," she said. "And practical," Mirren added. "The design combines cooperative energy efficiency with human adaptability." The station had areas adjusted for different species' needs, varied gravity levels, atmosphere mixtures, and temperature zones. But the main meeting spaces were designed for all to use comfortably. After the shuttle docked, the 4 friends walked through the station's curved hallways. Workers of multiple species nodded respectfully as they passed. "I never thought I'd see this in my lifetime," John said. "Humans working alongside beings from other worlds." "The cooperative never imagined it either," Captain Zixstar admitted. "For centuries, we believed we had the only correct path to civilization." They entered the main observation deck, a large room with walls made entirely of transparent material. Earth filled one side of the view, its blue oceans and white clouds swirling below. On the other side, stars stretched into infinity. Other officials were already gathering for the opening ceremony. Dr. Samantha Wright was explaining human customs to a group of aliens with green, scale-like skin. Eric Powell was showing alien engineers something on his tablet that made them click their fingers in excitement. General Morris stood with William Carter, watching everything with cautious optimism. "Still don't trust them completely?" John asked as he joined them. "Trust takes time," the general replied. "But I'm getting there." Carter smiled slightly. 6 months ago, they were reading our classified files. Today, they're teaching us faster-than-light travel theories. I'd call that progress. A soft tone indicated the ceremony was about to begin. A platform in the center of the room rose slightly, and Captain Zixtar took his place alongside John Miller. The room grew quiet. "Today marks a new chapter in galactic history," the captain began. "For the first time, the cooperative approaches another species not as guides or judges, but as students and partners." John stepped forward. "Horizon Station represents humanity's first step beyond our solar system. But more importantly, it represents a new approach to relationships between different peoples. When we first arrived on Earth," Captain Zixtar continued, "we sought to discover humanity's secrets. We found weapons, wars, and violence. And we discovered the aliens had secrets too," John added. "Mistakes, failures, and fears they had hidden away." The captain's blue skin deepened in color, a sign of emotion. "We came looking for reasons to fear humans. Instead, we found reasons to learn from them. Both our peoples have dark chapters in our histories," John said. "The difference is that humans have learned to face our darkness rather than hide it. This station," Captain Zixtar concluded, "will be a place where all species can bring their whole truth, their achievements and their failures, their hopes and their fears." As the crowd applauded, Lisa Clark moved to stand beside John. "Well said," she whispered. Later, after the formal ceremonies ended, John and Captain Zixtar stood alone at the observation window. Earth rotated slowly below them, peaceful and blue. "So," John said, "do you regret discovering our darkest secrets?" The captain's 4 eyes blinked thoughtfully. "I regret how we went about it. But no, I don't regret learning the truth. Even though it changed everything for your people." "Especially because of that," Zixtar said. "Sometimes the most important discoveries are the ones that force you to question your most basic assumptions." John smiled. "That might be the most human thing I've ever heard you say." The captain looked out at the stars. "Perhaps that's not such a bad thing after all." Together, the human and the alien watched as Earth's night side came into view, its cities lighting up like a reflection of the stars above. It was, they both knew, just the beginning.